There's something about a reset routine, a time of starting over and wiping the slate clean that is highly encouraging. For most people, New Year's brings a sort of high energy motivation, where we set amazing goals and intentions. But more often than not, because these goals are so far out that it seems we'll never get there, this motivation dwindles, and we often end up forgetting all about the things that we wanted to accomplish to begin with. Ever since I read the book, The 12-Week Work Year, I realized that I am much more likely to accomplish my goals if I set short-term intentions. And that I don't have to wait until the next year to get the excitement of a reset. I can inject these routines quarterly and even monthly. This helps me to embrace the changing of seasons and phases of my life, rather than trying to rush past them. So today, I will bring you along on my minimal monthly reset routine. The first step is to organize. Don't clean in this step. Before I do anything else, my first task is to organize the house. I do a deep clean later. Right now, I just want to put things where they go, so that I can have a clear, open space to reflect the mental clarity that I'm preparing myself for. I've heard that our homes and our workspaces are a reflection of our mind. And often when we hoard or keep clutter, we're also carrying mental wounds, spiritual, emotional baggage, such as fears, anxiety, frustrations, and addictions. So as I tidy my home, I open up myself to order and create a space that promotes tranquility, creativity, and peace. My next step is to do a monthly review and set intentions. So in this now cleared up space, I then take the time to review the previous month and set intentions for the month ahead. My favorite way to do this is to do freehand writing about both the past month and the month ahead. My disappointments, the things that I wish I had done differently, the hopes that I have going forward, and the ways in which I plan to improve, and any ideas that come to my mind. This is not meant to be a task bullet list or a SMART goal plan. I share more about goal setting on my video, How to Actually Achieve Your Goals. This to me is a way to mentally free myself from carrying these thoughts, worries, and just ideas in my brain because I've already dumped them onto a piece of paper. I think of this as a brain dump with a monthly overview. Once I have done this, my next step is to schedule everything. Well, almost everything. This step is easily one of my most loved hacks for time management and compassionate productivity. And I use the word compassionate because I am totally okay with rescheduling something when life happens. But if it's something that's important to me, I'll make sure to reschedule it rather than drop it off the list. I begin with the most important / not so easily rescheduled events. Typically, my work schedule is decided for me 1 month in advance. Because I work 3 12-hour shifts, I start off the month by placing all of my shifts in my Google Calendar, and then plan everything else around that. Scheduling any doctor's appointments, the days that I'll be serving at church, any outings that I want to go on, and finally, for the to-dos that I may otherwise procrastinate on, like taking things to the consignment shop or getting my oil changed, I schedule those on the days that I don't work, or before work, to make sure that I don't forget about these items as the month goes on. The key is to make sure that you schedule everything that you want to make sure gets done. And if for some reason something happens and the day comes and you actually can't do that thing that you planned on doing, don't just delete it or don't just forget about it for the next day. Reschedule it right then and there. I have personally been using Google Calendar for a while now, and I love that you can color code the tasks that you do and that I can also see, for example, birthdays or things from my contacts. But you can also use a paper calendar if you want to and get as fancy as you want with it. I'm just biased towards digital because it's something that I am able to see and share with other family members. And if somebody asks me, hey, can you do this on next month on a Tuesday? I don't have to mentally remind myself, what do I have to do next month on a Tuesday? I can actually look at my calendar right then and there and not risk that I might schedule something when I already had something planned for that day. Also, Google Calendar is totally free, $99. The next step is to eat the frog, to do the thing that you most dread doing. Up until this point, I had been doing things that for the most part really didn't require a whole lot of effort on my part. And I did this intentionally to start me off on the right foot for the tasks that I don't want to do, but that I would feel a whole lot better once I've actually completed them. This for me tends to be anything paperwork or digital organization. This is things like scanning or digitizing any important documents, backing up my computer, and my least favorite part of the video making process, decluttering my phone and laptop of any clips or files that I need to delete or back up. Many of these tasks often don't take as long as I imagine, but because there's no makeover effect, no before and after, like when I tidy my home, I don't find them as rewarding, and I tend to procrastinate a lot. And it ends up making it a lot harder when I actually go to do them, because by then, it's all piled up and I have more to do. So by doing these tasks as early in the month as possible, I eliminate that feeling of dread throughout the month, freeing me for the activities that I actually enjoy. And it also helps increase my motivation because I did the thing that I didn't want to do, creating a sense of momentum for the activities for the month ahead. My next step is to do a whole house deep clean. Some of you may think that I'm crazy for saying this, but I actually enjoy taking a full day to deep clean my house. I love the mini makeover feeling by seeing the before and after. And because I don't have nearly as many items in our home as we once had, most of the items are now things that I genuinely love and enjoy. And having less items also means that it's a lot easier and quicker to clean, making cleaning much more enjoyable because I am cleaning the items that I love to use, that I find value in, and that I want to last for a long time. I usually start off with a good floor clean, making sure to rescue any lost toys under the couches and toss the dust bunnies, washing all my linens with eucalyptus Epsom salt for soft and delicious smelling sheets, and making sure to get those often forgot about areas, like the sink drains, the fridge, the freezer mystery meals, the baseboards, and appliance maintenance, like cleaning our coffee machine or washing machine. After this step is a declutter. For me, no house deep clean is complete without a declutter. And you would think that after years of decluttering, there comes a point when you're done. But life changes, your hobbies change, things break, or you make mistake purchases. For this reason, I have a designated declutter basket in the home where I place any items that I either want to declutter or that I'm unsure of and that I want to think about for a bit. I love to go through it after a whole house deep clean because it's a time where I'm already going through all the items in the home anyway, giving me the perfect opportunity to toss any broken toys or donate any of the items that we will no longer use. But I do want to warn that while the declutter basket can definitely be helpful, it can also be very tempting just to pile items inside and forget about it. So I make sure to schedule a time when I'm either going to sell these items or donate them, because piling items into a box is not decluttering, it's rearranging. I found a thrift store near me that donates all profits to battered women, and it tends to be my go-to. But there are many ways to responsibly get rid of your items, such as donating food to homeless shelters or linens to a local animal shelter. Whichever way I choose to get rid of the items, I make sure to schedule it so that it actually gets done. My next step is to do a financial review. I review our finances much more frequently than this, but the first week of every month is when I fill out and designate our donation envelopes. I love doing this for many reasons, but I find it a good spiritual practice to start off the month with a giving mindset, rather than immediately focusing on how much we want to save or the bills that we have to pay. Of course, I do keep these things in mind, however, and I personally do so by calculating any unexpected expenses that fall outside of the budget for the month. So basically what I have is a working list on my phone of all of our monthly expenses. Basically, this is like our budget. So every month I have the things that we have to pay for. At the very top, I write out how much money we have in our accounts, how much we have saved, and I also make sure to jot down any expenses that I expect to make throughout the month. For example, I had a $3,000 medical bill that I thought was going to be much cheaper. I could sit and complain about the healthcare system, which I definitely did, but being proactive and planning for major expenses like this can help you make better decisions as the month goes on. And just ease your stress and anxiety, because this way I have a bird's eye view. These are the resources that I have, and this is how I'm going to allocate them. And last but definitely not least is education. Every month, I set aside some time to figure out what books I'm going to read for the month, and it may be a mixture of physical books as well as audiobooks. I personally love audiobooks because they've been of tremendous value to me. I can take mundane tasks like cleaning my house, for example, driving to work. I do a lot of driving as a home nurse, and take this time to learn things to improve my mental, spiritual health and not stay stuck in my old ways of thinking and my old habits. I think that if we're not moving forward in life, we're moving backwards, but we're never stagnant. And I don't know about you, but I have a lot of issues to work on. And books have been of huge, huge value in just helping improve my life. 2 books that I'm currently loving is Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before by Dr. Julie Smith and Boundaries by Henry Cloud. I love these because I am a chronic people pleaser and I have issues with setting boundaries. And so these books I am loving. I highly recommend them. The apps that I use are the Hoopla app, which is how I can obtain free ebooks and audiobooks from my local library. A similar version is Libby. You can check with your local library to see if they have such an app. But I also use the Audible app because it has a lot of the newer titles that tend to not be available through the local library. I do have a link for a free 30-day trial of Audible as well as a free audiobook, Yours to Keep, and I'll leave that link down in the description box below, but definitely check with your library and see if there's such an app available and take advantage of those resources. I remember hearing a quote somewhere, I don't remember where I heard it from, that we start dying when we stop learning. And at least my perception is that if you want to improve your life, you have got to make learning a part of your natural habit, just something that you normally and naturally do. So audiobooks for me has been of huge value because it's something that I don't have to necessarily think about to try to add into my schedule if I'm already busy. That's all I have for you today. I hope that what I've shared has been helpful. If there's anything that you want to see in the future, please leave it down in the comments below or send me an email. I thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.